Happy Tuesday, YouTube family. We're here with another Safemoon video. Obviously, we're going to go over a lot of stuff V2 related. I'm going to read through the transcript from Sunday and also give you guys a little bit more information of what I've been seeing on the Discord channel. As always, if you do enjoy this content, please feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for Fonzie. So before we go have a look at the transcript from Sunday, I wanted to have a look at the Twitter that came out just about 23 hours ago. This was something from the recap that kind of consolidates everything into a few posts. As you can see, it's already been deployed. So V2 is deployed. Now we're waiting on the UI and all the testing to be done. That way, when it actually does come through to your app and you update, everything is going to look proper. We're not going to have any kind of weird stuff with buttons or swaps not working. The education point is very important. That way no one is scared, and there's a lot of information that is actually on Discord that I've been reading through for the past few hours about what's the technical background of actually going to happen when your tokens do move over from V1 to V2. What's going to happen with the actual amount. Are you still going to buy V1 once you go to V2? Is there going to be some kind of issues that can happen? There's a lot of information around that. Thirdly, they wanted to let everybody know that V1 and V2 are going to be the same token. This is not going to be blockchain. Unfortunately, a lot of people keep asking, why do we not have blockchain yet? Why could we not wait to release V2 until blockchain is ready? And they actually responded to that question, and we'll get to that shortly. Lastly, multiple wallets will be supported as well as private keys, which this means that all your hard wallets will obviously be able to be uploaded to Safemoon, connected, and you can get everything in one spot. Okay guys, here we are on the Discord channel. I really wanted to take a look real quick at one of these questions that was asked by a user. I was actually wondering myself, and that is V2 going to be available on both Android and the iOS at the same time? Now, we know when the wallet released, it took several weeks after it came out for Android for it to release on iOS, just due to Apple having to go through extra security checks. The answer to this question was actually yes, because it should be a push swap feature. Essentially, the swap should be integrated into the wallet already, and it should be a back-end flick of the switch, which is going to happen on their end, which is going to make that pairing happen. Similar to some of the token pairings that became available, like Shiba and others like that. So once that does happen and the V2 update comes out, it's just going to be a back-end thing, and the iOS users aren't going to have to sit here and wait for weeks while we watch all the Android users get to test out all the features. Okay, now to Sunday's transcript. One of the things I wanted to focus on was this first question, which is what they were going over. What happens if I don't migrate to V2? Those folks that just don't have time, or they don't get around to transferring over to V2 from V1 fast enough, and they answer this question clearly right here. This is going to happen in 3 phases. The first phase is they're going to allow migration to be handled on the web swap and the app swap. This is going to be a simple token that's going to be preloaded onto the app and preloaded onto the web swap. They've already done a lot of the logic on the back end, so a lot of this has already been taken care of. We're making it very simple to swap using the web swap and app swap, so they're getting all that taken care of. That's the first phase. The second phase is going to be for those folks who are on exchanges. That stuff is going to be a little bit different than the first part, the web swap and the app swap. There will be things that have to be done on the back end for each exchange. So they have to make sure they seed specific accounts to that V2 token, excuse me. Then they get ready to basically turn off the V1 once they have that portion taken care of. Phase 3 is when, when the migration is actually finished. They don't want people to accidentally keep buying into V1 when they're supposed to be turned off, and then you're going to have people complaining and posting videos about, hey, I bought into V1, where's all my tokens, what the hell's going on, we're supposed to be on V2, blah blah blah. Well, that is one of the things that they want to stay away from. Obviously, they want to keep that nonsense out of there, so there will be a cutoff date, and they don't have an exact date as of this transcript, but there will have to be a cutoff date. So that is in store. They do have phases planned out for this, and they are definitely looking forward to when this is going to happen and have the plan laid out. Now next is the cost to perform the V1 to the V2 migration. Yes, the only cost is BNB Smart Chain to initiate the transfer, which is required by all transfers on the BNB network and is not controlled by Safemoon. They're not going to be charging any Safemoon. What that means is there will be the 10% tax. That's the the fee that's going to blast through that when you move over to the V2 contract with your tokens. However, Safemoon is going to mint us an additional 10% Safemoon once we complete the migration. So it's basically like we're going to give the normal 10% and then it's going to be minted 10% back, which is going to cancel out the fees for that transaction from V1 to V2. Alright, timeline for V2. We all know that it has to be sooner rather than later, and here's where they absolutely confirm that. They are working with one third-party company for migration, and they're still working with the internal dev team. Obviously, they have the contract team. Their stuff is done. They keep saying very, very soon. Sooner rather than later. And right here, what we see is definitely before the end of this year. As of this video, we are on November the 30th, which means we have about 30 more days before that happens. Honestly, this is probably just going to be dropped out of the middle of nowhere, and it's just going to be a surprise to everybody, which is what I'm really looking forward to, and I can't wait for that content to come out and see the discussions around that. And lastly, guys, I want to leave you with this paragraph from the end of the Sunday Safemoon conversation. This is regarding the blockchain and the consolidation being done at the same time. The best way to look at this is how we can keep moving forward and pushing forward with partnerships without losing time. We're not trying to be held back by waiting for one thing to be done when we have all these other things that are ready to be completed. We're being contacted by partnerships in the back end to see what we are doing. If we put off the V2 and the consolidation and say, well, we're waiting on the blockchain, those companies that want to work with them, they're going to be pushed aside and they're going to be put on the back burner. That's not a good way to build those relationships. You want to show them that you're continuing to move forward. You're making progress without having to wait on another piece of the puzzle. Those products won't always be perfect, but they're pushing further and faster along to get traction and build relationships with the partners. So they're keeping their reputation intact by showing the partners and the folks that are contacting them on the back end that yes, we are continuing to stay on our timeline. We are continuing to meet the time frames that you guys are set for us, and at the same time we're continuing to work on the blockchain and make progress on that at the same time. Okay guys, I'm going to leave you there for now. I hope this was information that you could use if you weren't able to tune in to the Sunday conversation. As well, this document is available on Discord for you to click on the link and it'll bring up the full document, but I just wanted to go through a few bullet points for you. Take care and have an awesome Tuesday.